Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. Today we have a 2014 Cruze in the shop with a check engine light, and the check engine light's on with a P0597 and a P0598. Now these codes are thermostat heater circuit codes. Now, yes, you heard that correctly. They are heated thermostat codes. This thing runs a thermostat that actually has a heater element in it that allows the PCM to open it up when it sees fit. Now, this is a very common problem on this car, but the good thing is they're not too hard to test. Since this thing has an element in it and it's a 2-wire element, we can actually take a resistance test of this to see if the resistance is within a spec that we actually have. You will not find this spec in GM service information, but we've done enough of these and measured enough good ones that we know that the spec should be between about 13 and 15 ohms. And that's where we're going to start our diagnosis today. So we're going to come here and we're just going to unplug the sensor. And it's always a good idea when you're unplugging the sensor that you look to make sure you don't have any broken wires or frays or anything like that. But with the sensor unplugged, you can see we just have 2 terminals right here. So we're going to grab our multimeter and set it to our ohm setting. We'll set that up here. And it's always a good idea to zero out your multimeter to make sure that your leads are good. And we'll just do this by touching the leads together. Oop, there we go. It'd help if I was on ohms. And touching the leads together and just make sure you get a low resistance reading, that your setup is good. So we're going to connect here on our thermostat. And you can see this thermostat is pretty well out of specification here. And like I said, the service information does not list the specification, but these things are normally around about 13 to 15 ohms. With that, we know that this thermostat is faulty. But before we go ahead and just replace the thermostat, we want to make sure that the computer still has the ability to do its job, right? Being that the computer controls it if the thermostat maybe was shorted out, or if it hasn't worked for a very long time, there's a chance that the computer or the wiring to the computer could still have an issue. And how we're going to test that is we are going to simulate the resistance of the thermostat with a test light, and we're going to use our scan tool to command that thermostat on and see if the computer is doing its job. To get our test light hooked up here, we're just going to switch and we're going to connect to the harness that goes to the PCM. And then we're going to connect one lead to each side of our test light. And interesting enough, we actually have the test light lit already. And I'm assuming what this is the wiring is probably okay, and the PCM is trying to test the circuit. But we're still going to use our scan tool here to make sure that we can command it up and down, and the driver inside the PCM isn't stuck, or there's a short in the wire somewhere, because that could probably cause our thermostat to burn out, and maybe that's what happened to it. Okay, so as we look at our drop-down menu here in our scan tool, we'll pick Coolant Thermostat Heater. Wait for it to load here. Okay, so we have increase, decrease, and release control. What we want to do is we see there's no commanded state right now, so we're just going to hit increase, right? And we're going to just boost it up. It's going to start at about 10%. And what we want to do is we want to keep increasing it from 10, 20%, 30%. And as this thing increases, you should see that this light should not only shine maybe a little brighter, but it's going to start being more on time, or on for a longer period of time. And it looks like this thing is working correctly. And I also want to go to release control. And now I want to make sure that the light is out. And it looks like it is working normally. Okay, so this test proved that our wiring is good, and that the PCM has the ability to control that heater how it wants, and the ability to release it. And that's kind of what I was worried about when I seen that light was on as soon as I plugged it in. Now, we do know that the resistance of this thermostat housing is almost an open at, what, 3.5 million is what we had before. So we know this thing needs a thermostat. So we're going to go pick up a thermostat and the tools we need so we can get this thing fixed, and we will be right back. All right, guys, we got our new thermostat here. As you can see, this thing is shiny and new. And we took a reading just to show you guys that this new one's about 15 ohms, right about where we thought that spec should be. So let's get right into replacing this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get this hose out of the way. And we'll remove our oxygen sensor here. We don't want to get that damaged. Then remove the clamp that holds the hose onto the thermostat housing. kind of wants to stay there. And one thing that I should mention is make sure that the engine is cool before you open this up. If your car is hot, there could be pressure in here and you could burn yourself and cause some serious scalding on your hands. So take the cap off and that'll make sure that there is no pressure in the system before you open this up. Okay, now that we know we don't have any pressure, we're gonna start by taking this upper clamp off here. Okay, there we go. Slide this down. And then just give this thing a little bit of a twist. It should come off pretty easy. If you can't get this off, you can use a pick or something to get in here. Just make sure that you don't poke any holes in the holes if you do use a pick. Now, once you take this off, you're going to spill a lot of coolant. So make sure that you have a pan under here. It's going to make a pretty big mess. And I like to just take the hose and route it right down to the pan and just let it drain out for a while. That'll make sure that the coolant level gets down and it should prevent from spilling too much more once you take that housing off. Okay, so with that hose off and out of the way, let's start removing our thermostat. We're going to use a 10 millimeter socket with an extension to get these bolts off. Okay, once you have all 4 bolts removed, just give it a little wiggle and it should release pretty easily. Let's pull this out here. And there you can see the thermostat removed. Now, before you go and you put the new one on, you're just going to want to make sure that you clean up this area here and make sure there's nothing corrosion or anything here, any edges that might wreck the new seal. So we're going to get this cleaned up, and to do this, we're just going to use a red Scotch-Brite pad. Okay, one thing I want to note before we get this thing back together, now that we got it cleaned up, is I noticed that this coolant tube here looks like it has been leaking. It has some traces here where it looks like there's some dry coolant, and there's actually a little bit of wet coolant on top there. And this is also a very common leak point on these, so before you go out and get your parts, make sure that you check that that tube isn't leaking, because you might want to pick that up also to get that replaced. Okay, now with the rest of it cleaned up, we're going to get our thermostat installed. So we just want to kind of get it in there and take your time. You don't want to bend anything. It fits in there pretty tight unless you take a couple more things apart, but it should go in there relatively easy. Okay, and make sure that your seal is installed on here before you put it up here. The new ones usually come with a seal. Then I'm going to start all these bolts by hand before I start cranking these things down, and these bolts are going to get tightened to 71 inch-pounds. Okay, now that we got the thermostat torqued down, we'll get the hose reattached. Push this on here. And we'll get our clamp put back on. Oops. Be careful, these things can spring and really hurt your fingers. And we'll just plug it back in. Don't forget to reinstall your oxygen sensor wire here. Okay, now that we got this thing installed, there's one more thing we have to do, right? We spilled all that coolant out of the car, and we have to put coolant back in it. Now, there's a few ways you can do that because we have to make sure we get all the air out of the system. You can get yourself a spill-free funnel like this, and this will go on where the coolant goes in, and it creates a high point so the air can get out and it forces cooling in the system. And these things do work pretty well. Another option you can use is you can use an air lift like we were going to use today. And this uses air pressure to put a vacuum on the cooling system, and it allows us to fill the cooling system and ensure there's no air in the system. So let's get this thing installed and get some coolant back in here. Okay, so with the coolant back in this thing and no air in the system, thermostat replaced, we just got to clear the codes, maybe clean this up a little bit. You're gonna have some coolant on some of the exhaust. You might wanna just sprinkle that off with some water and get that coolant off there, but otherwise this thing should be ready to go. Thanks for sticking us for the whole video. I hope this helps you if this problem is the same problem that your car has. If you liked what you've seen here today, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon to get notified when we make another video. Otherwise, thanks for watching.